Welcome to Into the Light today. We're in the Gospel of John, chapter 12. We'll begin reading in verse 1. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus therefore came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. So they gave a dinner for him there. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those reclining with him at table. Mary therefore took a pound of expensive ointment, made from pure nard, and anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, he who was about to betray him, said, "Why was this ointment not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief, and having charge of the money bag, he used to help himself of what was put into it. Jesus said, "Leave her alone, so that she may keep it for the day of my burial. For the poor you always have with you, but you do not always have me." There are so many lessons I'd like to pull out of this short passage today. We could talk about the fact that Judas' suggestion about selling it for the poor sounds like the right thing to do. Sounds like a better use for it than simply just using it on, wiping it on Jesus' feet. But Jesus said, leave her alone. Sometimes people say things that sound spiritual, sound like what God would want us to do. But we need to think very carefully about the things that we do as individuals or collectively as a church and say, is this what Jesus really wants me to do? Because what is spiritual is what Jesus really wants from us. We could talk about the fact that sometimes we may say we're doing something for the right motive, but it's actually the wrong motive. Just like Judas said, oh, this should be given to the poor. He was really interested, thinking about the future and getting some money out of that money bag. Again, so many things we could talk about. The simple point that I'd like to bring out to you today is the fact that Mary took this expensive ointment and used it on Jesus. Many uses for this ointment, but she thought Jesus was a worthy use. What are we willing to use, to give to Jesus? To show him our love, to show him our care, to show others that he's important to us. It doesn't necessarily have to be a great amount of money or some expensive possession like Mary did. You know, our time is pretty precious to us. Do we use our time for Jesus, to get to know him better, to pray, to serve him? And there are other ways that we can use things that are expensive or precious to us and use it on Jesus to show him we love him. What are you willing or not willing to give up or to use for Jesus?